Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Today, I'm going to be talking about two things that a lot of people have been asking me about because I feel like it's a good video to go off of and not get too deep into conversation about it, but just kind of point out why there's good and bad for each. I'm talking about picking your playstyle. But instead of focusing on relaxed, wilderness, and lights out, let's just talk about endless and survival. These to end up being the two that most people end up choosing from and have the most controversy because people sit there and go, that's not how you're supposed to play Don't Starve Together, or I prefer to play this and I've always played this since the beginning. Okay, so let's talk about one and the other. Survival, let's start with you, shall we? Survival is the default way to actually play Don't Starve Together, and literally it tells you now, the standard Don't Starve experience. Endless says, a never-ending Don't Starve sandbox, resurrection is always available via the florid postern, aka the spawner that you go in and Don't Starve Together. Why do you want to keep it default and Don't Starve Together? Okay. Let's talk about that. In Don't Starve Together, the default for survival gives you multiple different opportunities to actually revive, other than, of course, the normal, which is just spawning at the portal. And of course, the reason why most people choose survival is because it ends up making it a little bit harder. If you're playing multiplayer in your world and somebody's a ghost out there, the world will not restart until all players are dead. So what that means is that when you are a ghost and you have died and one of your friends is on the server, their sanity is going to start to diminish, basically telling them, hey, look, somebody is dead, let's go and revive them. Because it's kind of like a little crutch to tell you, listen, you need to revive this person because your sanity is going to dip down basically until you have no sanity left. Now, this is actually a good thing. I do think that there should be more indications that this is happening to encourage people to revive. Now, like I said, when it comes to survival or endless, it's up to you what you choose, but I'm just here to tell you the difference between the two. Once again, survival will give you the full experience of Don't Starve and how it's meant to be played, but there are ways around that. So for example, meat effigies and such like that will actually still allow you to revive, so don't really worry too much about that, as there's other ways than just dying and restarting, because that is not necessarily the experience that you want, especially as a new player. However, it is a good way of learning to play Don't Starve, and I'll be honest with you, it is actually kind of good to get back to that every now and then. As I always play on Endless myself, going back to survival kind of makes you feel like you're playing the game all over again. However, usually there's a way out of it. Like I said, if you die and a player's in the server, they can easily revive you within seconds as long as they're alive. So really, it's not taking away too much. If they made survival to the point where if you died, you could not revive whatsoever, that would obviously be boring because then you'd be in a survival world going, well, I'm dead. And now I'm just basically a spectator until somebody else dies, and really nobody wants that. So that's why they give people the other option. Of course, if you're playing single player Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together by yourself, that's a different story. If you do die, you probably will have the world restart unless you have attuned to a meat effigy. Okay, so that's survival, the default way of playing Don't Starve. Well, I mean, it's entirely up to you if you want to play this way. This is a way that most people do. I like to choose Endless, and I'm going to explain why. Endless gives you the options of playing with as many people as you want, and they can continue to revive at the portal. The reason why this is a good thing is because, especially if you're a new player, you're probably going to find that a lot easier to then respawn and not have your world restart every single time you die. So, now you die, you revive at the portal, and you lose a little bit of your HP bar, but that's not the end of it, because you can now obviously recover that, and you start to learn the process of dying and getting better and better, and then giving yourself your own option to actually regenerate the world if you want to. I like Endless also because of what I already said. If you're playing in a world with, let's just say, 6 people, 5 out of those 6 people are all dead, you're not losing sanity as they're all ghosts. In survival mode, though, you will definitely lose sanity, and it'll be very annoying until you revive those players. So what ends up happening is if you're playing with a bunch of people that are obviously new to Don't Starve Together, and you're a veteran to Don't Starve Together, you're probably going to say to yourself, well, this person keeps dying all the time, making my sanity lower, so can you please go fix that? And I've seen it happen so many times on survival mode, it's crazy. I've been in worlds before where people consistently complain that somebody keeps dying and I don't want to play anymore because my sanity continues to go down. This does not happen in Endless. So, if you're playing for the first time, I don't know if I would recommend Relax necessarily, but we'll save that for another video. But playing on Endless is the next best thing. Keep in mind, this is my opinion only, so don't take it to heart and go, I can't believe you said that. Everybody should be recommended to play survival because, like I said, it's up to you. Anyways, The other bonus about playing Endless is, like I said, it's more of an open world where you can die as many times as you want, not have to worry, there's ways to come back, and it encourages players to play together no matter if you're new or old to the game. So yes, for myself, Endless is my choice. Sometimes I go back to Survival, but then I realize that Survival is basically like Endless because at the end of the day, I'm never playing the world by myself anyways, so really it doesn't matter because somebody's just going to be there to revive me. So in the truth, I always stick it to Endless no matter what because I like to play with other players, and if they die, they don't feel kind of bullied into actually leaving the server until we find a way of reviving them, as I don't think that's really the way that Don't Starve Together should be played. But anyways, that's my opinion on Survival and Endless. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments down below, please comment about what you like between the two. Leave Wilderness, Lights Out, and Relaxed alone because I don't really want anybody to feel like we need to talk about this. Wilderness has its own experience. Lights Out is for challenging, which, I mean, doesn't really get too challenging once you find a way of just having endless lights. Like I said, like maybe a lantern or a miner hat. Once you have those, it's not even that big of a problem. Relaxed mode is really good for learning the game in kind of a passive mode, especially if you're new and you're dying all the time too. But I didn't want to really talk about those. I just figured that I'd mention them at the end of the video. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.